Okay, everyone. Dark Lord Diablos here, coming at you with something slightly different because mostly I just got done playing the entirety of Sword and Shield. That means the Crown Tundra, the Armor Isle, the main game. And instead of doing a review of that game just yet, because I don't know if I'm really qualified to, or even if I do, will it really matter down the line, I'm going to rank every game that I played in the Pokemon mainline series on this rating thing. Because you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to have some fun, and I figured anyone that's watching would like to have some fun with me. So what we're going to do is go by generation first, and whichever ranking I put them in, they're going to stay there. Now again, this is my opinion. Any of my picks you can say are absolutely wrong, and they're absolutely shit. And I would not disagree with you on that because it's your opinion. But my opinion is what I think, and it's not going to change. So, first we're going to start with Generation 1. Now, actually, I did play both variants of this game, and normally when I do this, I'm going to put like both variants up on the same ranking if I played, one or the other. But this is like one of those rare occasions where I actually played both. And since both of them are the same, I'm putting them at B. They were both the very first Pokemon game that I played, and I inherited it as a hand-me-down from my cousin. And I played a lot of that game, and coming back to it like 3 years later, that's when I discovered you can do all the glitchy stuff with it and everything, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, the original Pokemon game, that's where I had Charizard. It was blue, by the way, ironically. And, got to Elite Four and battled it out all the way through. And my god, my first attempt at Pokemon probably sucked, because I managed to have a Charizard by the third gym, and that's because I kept on going at it with Misty. And kept losing money, and just kept on ranking up XP points until, he evolved into Charizard. Alright, next is going to be Generation 2. I did play Silver. I did have an annoyance with it with the clock. So I will admit that the clock battery is in fact putting my judgment at C. But other than that, the only real problem I had was Whitney. That whole entire gym battle was just horrible. And of course I naturally picked the fire type as the starter, so that was even worse because rollout is a rock type move. So again, this is just going off of the judgment of that. I'm not putting that anywhere. If you're wondering why I haven't moved Yellow or Crystal yet, is because those are technically fundamentally different. So I'm going to put them right here, because they're technically fundamentally different. They have different stuff to it, especially Yellow. So I'll put them at NA. So next is Gen 3. And just to give you an idea, I didn't play Ruby. I didn't play Sapphire. I didn't play any of the remakes. But recently, before I played Sword and Shield, I did play Emerald, which was a fun time. It was better than the remakes. We'll get to those in a bit. So next is Gen 4, and this is where me as a person really got into Pokemon. So, let's start out with the first Gen 4 game I played, and that will be Soul Silver. We're going to go all the way up here. That was a perfect game. You had that freaking Pokeball thing that you could use, which I got mine secondhand, so I never had. The game was amazing. It was challenging. I kind of had it harder because the DS I had a cracked screen on the text, so I couldn't tell I couldn't tell you what the plot was until afterward, after I played it for 2 years straight, because I didn't know what the plot was. I just thought, go get the gym headers, beat Team Rocket and everything else. I managed to figure out everything just without the text. And I got so good at predicting the AI's moves, it was insane, especially with Lance. And I remember that being the most joy I had in life. followed up by the next game I played, which was shortly afterward, and that will be Platinum. And it's going up at S as well, because I loved Platinum. I loved the Sorcerer world. I loved all the little things with Giratina. I loved that you could get both Dialga and Polka in game, which was something I was kind of expecting for the next games in the series, because, you know, Emerald you could get Kyogre and Rayquaza. I mean, not Rayquaza, Kyogre and Groudon. And in Pokemon Platinum, you could get Dialga and Palkia. So I was thinking, okay, in the 5th game in the series, you'll just get both legendaries along with the 3rd, quote-unquote, special legendary. Turned out not to be the case. Now, going back to Gen 4 real quick, I didn't play Platinum. I mean, not Platinum. I didn't play Pearl. I didn't play Diamond. I just played Platinum. And they're kind of fundamentally different. I think, I don't know, I didn't really take a look at the two the major differences, so I'm putting them down there because I didn't play them, and I'm not going to put it up at S for any reason. So next is Gen 5. So just to get it out the way, Black, White, didn't play them, couldn't afford it. Simple. Now, Black and White 2, on the other hand, I did play. And they were good. I loved them. They're really, really, really good. The story was interesting, and as a character was just great. And sadly, I wish I played Black and White at the time, because, you know, I would have got the context for Black and White too. Because unlike other games, these are actual sequels and not remakes of the original game. They take place 2 years after Black and White. So it would have been amazing just to see the context of everything play out and not have to watch on video of what the context was. Oh, and technically we're just going to throw Heart Gold up here too, because they're technically the same game. Now, next is Gen 6. I did play it. Tell you what, right now, completely boring. I can barely tell you what happened in the plot. I like, at all. I think all it was like one guy wanting to destroy the world for the sake of beauty or some shit, and wanted to use this like super weapon. And one of the major appeals to Pokemon to me is discovering about the legendaries. I know in 1 you really don't get that, maybe with Mewtwo, because you have to explore that mansion to get Lord Mewtwo. But with 2, you hear about at least the fire dogs. In 3, that's where you get into it. You learn more about that region's legendaries. And with 4 and 5, they're front and center. So, if you just play the games, can you tell me what lore surrounded the 2 legendaries that appear in the game? Nothing. At all. Really. Maybe one sentence. They're being used to power the machine. That is it. That is fucking it. You don't get to know anything about Xerneas and Evoltile until the anime X, Y, and Z, where it's dedicated one episode to the 3 legendaries. It was like, it was just that boring. I can at least tell you who the champion is in all the other games, except for those 2. I literally had to ask my friend the other day before I even decided to make this video, who is the champion for Gen 6? Oh, I think it was just some actor chick. I think her name was Diana. That's it. She has no relevance in the game, really, at all. At all. You meet her once. Now, I will admit, the side story with Defective Luker, I do remember that, and I enjoyed that, but that's just one side story, a post-game thing. And what's the enjoyment of that? Now, moving on to the Gen 3 remakes. They can be situated right here where they belong. I'll tell you my problem with it. I just didn't feel it. The only real thing I liked about it was the Delta episode. And that was it. I just feel like the story was stronger in Emerald. you're fighting both teams at the same time instead of one team trying to stop the other. I just, I didn't really feel it. Don't get me wrong, like, Gen 6 did bring on the Mega Evolutions, which I still wish were around to this day, and the battle mechanics were amazing, but their stories was meh. Moving on to Gen 7. Sun and Moon, get an A. And Ultra Sun and Moon, because I did play both. Well, both versions of Moon, get a B. Now, I can't talk one without the other, because they do deal with dimensions and possibility and blah 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 blah. Ultra Sun and Moon was an overall improvement of A, but why did I put it down there? Because A had great story development with Lily, that if they didn't change some things in Ultra Sun and Moon, would have been amazing. But because they made those changes in Ultra Sun and Moon, and made Ultra Sun and Moon a double game when they really shouldn't have, just for making more money, I dropped them. That's why. Again, it's my personal opinion. We're not going over gameplay, we're going over story and what I personally felt. We want to like a full detail of each Pokemon game, y'all are going to have to convince me to do that, and I probably won't. Now, Gen 8. We're going to save Sword and Shield for last, because the first games that come out in Gen 8 were Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, which I played only 2 seconds of with my charge. So, that's not me verifying that the games are good. I haven't played them, don't know. I know they had a connection with Pokemon Go, and if Pokemon Go was up here, it'll be under F. Now, next, here comes where everyone's going to think. It's going under F. It's going under F. You'll be wrong. Oops. Need to do that. Kind of got excited there. It's going right here in the middle. I would probably make my own video in depth about my opinion on Sword and Shield. It has awful writing near the fucking end, I will admit. Eternicus comes out of nowhere. He's not even mentioned to begin with, unless, at all. The whole plot twist with Chairman Rose was weird. The whole plot point of Hop becoming a Pokemon professor was just out of the blue. There was no hint to that whatsoever. The post game was awful. Yeah. Like, the base game and the post game alone was complete shit. They lied. They clearly did lie. Or at least fibbed, over-exaggerated on why they didn't have the National Pokedex in the series. Now, no matter how you want to feel about it, I'll give an example to Digimon. Digimon Cyber Sleuth, you don't have every single Digimon in the game, and I do believe Pokemon is getting to the point where you can't really have every Pokemon in the game. It's getting that problematic, especially if we're going to do year releases. And ever since Gen 5, which you can see that's when most of these games started losing quality, that has been a problem. They did, at least in a bit, fib. Because yes, the custom moves are amazing, but there's like videos all over the place that shows how shit the animation is. Now, going on to Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra. Isle of Armor was a major improvement. I love the characters more, especially Master Mustard. He's got to be my favorite character from anything from Sword and Shield. And not only that, they increased the difficulty up with Master Mustard dramatically. He had a competent team, and I actually had to think for once instead of hit the kill button. But the animations got worse. They implemented the walking gimmick, and again, I'm not going to compare it to the Soul Silver and Heart Gold, because those are two different graphic types. One's bit graphic, the other one isn't. I'm going to have to compare it to Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, which I did not play. I guess I could look up videos and see how great the animations were there or not. Well, I didn't. They completely fucked up the walking animations in the fucking game. And I will put up photos of how bad the animations are. You can literally have fucking, God, he's my favorite. Phalanx. He's like one of my favorite Pokemon out of Gen 8. Literally going through the staircase and the Isle of Armor. And that is completely unacceptable. They could have done a lot more better with that setup. Now, Crown Tundra. That was amazingly better. They still need to work on the animations. The story was fun and interesting. We got more lore nuggets, and the area is just fun to move around and explore in. We finally got caves. We haven't had caves since Gen 6. And even then, it really wasn't much of a cave. We actually could explore this cave, and that was fucking fantastic. Something I would like to see in the wild area. They improved on the wild area quite a bit. My major problem, why it will not be A, and probably almost C level. The price. Market price value, what I paid for it at the store, at Walmart, for a physical copy is $50. Then you gotta pay $30 for DLC. So judging the DLC by $15 a piece, I would say they're worth altogether $15, not $30. No, not even $30, not even close. I shouldn't have to pay $30 extra to get the good stuff for the game. That's why it's at B. Because I did enjoy it, but it has glaring problems. And yes, I'm criticizing this more than X and Y. I could talk about how boring and shit X and Y is all fucking day. I barely remember, but the problem is, it was so bad, I barely remember it. X Sword and Shield's still in my mind, and the reason why I have it on B is because of fun factor. Now, whether you believe it or not, that's the truth. Now, that's it for this video. Put down in the comments down below and tell me what is your favorite Pokemon game or what is not your favorite Pokemon game. I'll be coming out next time with a video possibly on like a complete and total opinion overview on Idola. Because someone made a comment the other day asking for my opinion on Idola, and the NA came out, so I guess I'll kind of mix my opinion on JP and NA together in my video. So until next time, hit the like button if you liked the video, subscribe if you would, that would be appreciated, and if you are subscribed and you like my content, oh god, I can't believe I'm going to say this, hit the bell notification to, let whatever I put on, the platform, let you know it exists. Thank you, have a wonderful night, ciao.